Going on, Jerome's? The Minnesota Vikings second preseason game is in the books, and there's been some shifting and some consternation on the projected 53-man rooster, as well as our practice squad projections. Now, things are going to get interesting. Things are going to get dicey, but also I think that we're starting to get some clarity on the pecking order on some crowded positions, especially wide receiver, as we head into the final week of training camp, as well as the third preseason game Saturday against the Denver Broncos. So at quarterback, where the nice thing about all this quarterback 2 consternation is it makes you feel so good about Kirk Cousins. That's right, man. But I do think that the Vikings will have to roster both Sean Mannion and Kellen Mond. I think if they waived Kellen Mond, trying to get him on the practice squad, I think a team would pick him up. But it's tough. It is rough. We still have no idea who the QB2 is going to be. Is he going to come from outside the roster? Will the Vikings make a trade? Will they scoop up a veteran free agent? Who knows? Who really knows at this point? But burning 3 roster spots on QBs kind of sucks, but it's kind of where we're at in this situation. Running back hasn't changed. Dalvin Madison, Kincaid, Ty Chandler on the 53. Brian Koback on the practice squad. CJ Ham, only fullback on the roster. Also the best fullback in the league. No big deal. NBD. Wide receivers, where we're starting to get a little bit of clarity on the back end. So the top 3 is obviously Jefferson, Thielen, and KJ. ISM, even though he's had issues as a punt returner, he's looked good as a receiver as well as good as a kick returner. So I think that he will be wide receiver 4 in this offense. I think that he will be King Kenne's understudy as a kick returner as well. Tristan Jackson, BC Johnson, I think that they've done enough as wide receivers to secure the wide receiver 5-6 spots. Now, Jalen Naylor, the rookie, coming out of Michigan State, he's shown flashes. He's looked good in camp. Hasn't shown enough as a punt returner, but I do think that the Vikings will be able to get him onto the practice squad if they put him through waivers. I don't know if that would happen with Tristan Jackson, especially not BC Johnson. Myra Mitchell also joining Jalen Naylor on our practice squad projection. Now, here's where it gets a little bit interesting. So, in yellow, we have Blake Prohl and Ron Connolly. I think they both start the year on the PUP. We're actually going to put Dan Chisena on injured reserve. Now, he can return after a number of weeks, 3 weeks, I believe. So I do think that he will be back, and then we'll make a decision on the roster once he does get back. I think he does still have some value as a punt gunner. There you go. Then the veteran Burt Wilson, even though he got 2 touchdowns against the Raiders, doesn't make our 53 or practice squad. Tight end wise, Irv Smith. Hopefully he's going to be returned to the grass and practice this week. Hopefully that thumb is good to go week 1 against the greasy, grimy Green Bay Packers. Johnny Munt, I think, has won the tight end 2 job by default. Ben Elfson, the pride of NDSU, go Bison, quality backup blocking tight end. He makes the practice squad. And Nick Muse showed just enough. Showed enough as a receiver, looked decent as a blocker as well, that he secures the tight end 3 job. Zach Davidson, not so much. I could see spending a practice squad spot on Davidson, but the game was just a microcosm of some issues that you've seen throughout training camp. Drops, mainly concentration drops, are a big issue, is what it is. Offensive line, Darisaw, Ezra, Bradbury, Ed Ingram. Even though he had some not great moments in the Niners game, I still believe that he secures the starting right guard spot week 1. Then, of course, you got Brian, the real deal, O'Neal. Austin Schlottman. Come on down, man. Second game in a row. Look really good working at center. Chris Reed, the veteran, makes it as well. Same thing with Jesse Davis and Blake Brandel. So the Vikings carry 9 O-linemen on the 53. 3 on the practice squad. So day 3 pick Vidarian Lowe. I like his potential as a future swing tackle. Then you got Wyatt Davis, who has done just enough to hang around and warrant a practice squad spot. Same thing with Kyle Hinton. Now, you could tell me that Josh Sokol, the pride of Sacred Heart, has actually looked good working with the third team centers. Now, maybe he sticks around. Maybe Sokol and Hinton, maybe even Sokol and Davis are interchangeable. I fully understand that. Oli Udo, even though he's been working with the 2s as well as with the 1s in the Niners game, I just don't see it. I think Vidarian Lowe has more upside. I think Brandel is better at the swing tackle currently, so it is what it is. Defensively, so we got 26 offense, 24 defense, and 3 specialists. Defensively, keeping 5 interior defensive linemen: Diesel Dalvin, Harrison Phillips, Armand for Watts, as well as preseason studs. Jonathan Bullard has quietly had a good preseason, and of course, preseason superstar T.Y. McGill, Mr. Mankato, the Earl of Egan. Got it done. We got 3 defensive linemen on the practice squad: Osaze, Jalen Twyman, as well as James Lynch, TJ Smith, and Julian Taylor. No go. Edge rushers: Keeping 5, Daniil Zadarius, Patrick Jones second, DJ 1. They go very nicely 4 deep there. And then Zach McLeod, the UDFA. I think it might be risky trying to get him onto the practice squad. And then you got 2 on the practice squad because you can never have enough guys who can get the quarterback, Janaris Robinson and Luigi Villain. Off-ball linebackers, you got Kendricks, Hicks, Asamoah Dye. I think that's pretty much set in stone. Troy Dye, respect. Played pretty well against the Niners. Brian Asamoah has just been tearing things up. Then keeping 2 on the practice squad. Blake Lynch is a guy that whenever he's on the field, good things happen. The problem is him getting on the field because it seems like he is constantly lapped and outranked by some other guys. Chaz Surratt, I think he showed enough where it's interesting. So they keep him in the sphere. Ryan Connolly on the pup in our projection, and then William Kwenku, the UDFA trout. A guy I liked a lot, but he's just getting overshadowed by Surratt and Blake Lynch. 6 cornerbacks, you got Peterson, Dancer, Sullivan. I think those are going to be your starting 3. And then you got Andrew Booth Jr. Knock on all the wood. Kevin O'Connell said that ankle injury looks minor, so he should be good to go. Caleb Evans looked really good, the 4th-round pick out of Mizzou. Also, I think Chris Boyd, even though Boyd didn't play against the Niners, maybe it's minor injury. Who really knows? He was held out for part of training camp at the beginning as well, but I think he does make the roster. And then I think Harrison Hand, after Booth went down, Harrison Hand came in and played some nice reps. So I think that he makes the practice squad. And they got Harrison, Bynum, Lewisine, Josh Metellus also made some nice splash plays against San Francisco. I think they go 4 deep there. And then for specialists, you got Joseph Berry at DePaulo. And maybe Ryan Wright hangs around on the practice squad. Maybe just shows just enough. Kick returner, we got King Kene, kick returner 2, ISM. Punt returner, I have no earthly idea. The Vikings punt returner might not be on the roster. That might be one of the spots where they have to look outside. But ISM has not been good. Jalen Naylor did not do great either. Burt Wilson, no, in practice. So, hell, just put KJ back there. Just tell KJ, don't return the punts. Just fair catch everything and don't let it bounce. And go from there. So our practice squad is Brian Koback, Myron Mitchell, Although it would be nice to have Brian Mitchell from the Eagles in his prime on the practice squad. Jalen Naylor, Ben Ellefson, Vidarian Lowe, Wyatt Davis, Kyle Hinton. So we got 7 on offense, 1 specialist, Ryan Wright. And they got 8 on defense, 3 defensive linemen, James Lynch, Jalen Twyman, Usezi Odomeu. Then the edge rushers, Janaris Robinson, Luigi Villain. Off-ball linebackers, Chaz Surratt, Blake Lynch, as well as Harrison Hand, rounding out the 16-man practice squad. Now, our 80-man roster cut projections, because the Vikings have to go from 85 to 80 by 3 p.m. Central Time on Tuesday. Tight end Sean Byer, defensive tackles TJ Smith and Julian Taylor. Now, Taylor hasn't played in the first 2 preseason games. Sort of questioning what's going on there. Maybe it's going to be an injury-waived situation like they did with nose tackle Tyree Stevenson, as well as wide receiver Thomas Hennigan. They got Nate Hairston as cornerback Nate Hairston, and safety Mike Brown is our projected 5 cuts to get the Vikings to 80 men. So that's it. Let's take a look at the Vikings 53-man roster projection as well as practice squad projection after the second preseason game. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.